My friends, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the Fox Den, and welcome if today's your first time here on the channel. Today we are checking out the Victorinox one-handed trekker, as you can see here. Now I've got a few knives and a few little things on the table, but today we're checking out the one-handed trekker. Victorinox has been around since 1891. Carl Elsner was the man's name, Swiss man, that originally had a contract with the Swiss Army. And that's kind of where everything started. Important to note that these knives today are still Swiss made in Switzerland. All the Victorinox knives, are Swiss made. The one-handed trekker used to be called the Trail Master, and as you can see, this is kind of your plain Jane black. It does have the German Army issue green. I kind of have just a green and black model, and then there is a camouflage model, a desert tan model that looks just like this one, except it's tan and brown. And there's also a U.S. military model that says U.S. on the handle, kind of like where the German Army logo is. So let's check these knives out, give a little bit of a rundown, and I'll tell you a few differences. The main difference here is the black model and the camouflage model, which I do not have, still have the tweezers and the toothpick, as you can see here in the handle. A lot of people like that. I like that. It's nice to have. I do have a classic, Victorinox Classic on my keychain, so I'm kind of covered with that, but it's nice to have that. As you can see here, the German Army model does not have that built in. Now, if you watch someone like Felix Imler, there are ways to incorporate it inside and underneath where the blades hide. I'd suggest you check his videos out. But you can see this green model, as well as the desert tan model, do not have the tweezers and the toothpick. That's about the main difference, okay? Now, I like to add these little Victorinox lanyards on. They come in multiple colors. I mean, got blue, green, black, red, as you can see here. This one's orange. I just thought it looked cool with the green. But basically, a little bit about the knife, other than the fact that it comes in so many different colors and I guess color variations. These are 111 millimeters, which is basically 4.4 inches in length. So it's a nice full grip. It weighs 4.6 ounces, so it's pretty stout, especially if you combine it, or compare it to something like a Bantam. I mean, why would you? But just that for fun. But it's not too heavy. Now, as you can see, just with a quick motion of the thumb, you can open this. One thing that's different about this knife than most Victorinox as well is this is a locking blade. You can see here, I don't know if you can read that, it says press. You press that out of the way, it's a liner lock, and then the blade closes. So it doesn't really matter which model we pick up. They're all one-handed opening. A little bit difficult to do one-handed closing, but I guess you could. As you can see here, Victorinox Swiss made. See if that comes in for you. There you go. These things are beautiful. I like the knife. The blade length is 3.3 inches. So it's with the stout handle like you see here. And this blade length, you can get a lot of work done. Does have the key ring, as you can see here on the back. Locking blade. It does have a nice saw. Again, this saw, just so you can see, here is a Farmer, which if you watch the channel, you know that I love the Farmer. Might be my favorite Victorinox of all time. But you can see, it's considerably bigger even than something like a Farmer. So just something to keep in mind. Of course, the blade is longer, the saw is longer, the handle's thicker. I mean, everything about it basically is bigger and more stout. It also has, wants to flip back in there, a can opener, and of course you have a small screwdriver. Now this one is about the same size, but if you look here at the bottle opener, very interesting. Two things about the bottle opener. This is not just the same bottle opener that's on the Farmer or any other knife. This is bigger, and it's also the flathead screwdriver and the wire stripper, as you can see, like most Victorinox. But this thing is stout. I mean, that is, so you can see there, that's thick. It's no joke. And it also locks into place, so that's very interesting. It's not just the blade that locks. As you can see, this is locked. Again, liner lock, pushed out of the way, and it closes right away. On the back, we have nice Phillips screwdriver, and of course your awl or your punch. Now I bought this specific green one kind of just as part of my collection. I haven't carried it. I've taken this one on 2 trips. One was backpacking and one was mountain bike camping, and it did great. But this is the one I've taken on the most trips, I guess, just because it's kind of plain Jane. It's the least expensive model out of the bunch. It's easy to find. As you can see, the blade's a little bit dirty and beat up, but it's really a great knife. I've used it from everything from woodcraft to food prep and you know, cutting zip ties and everything in between, and it's really just done great. I really like this knife. And normally, the reason why I got the Azula 2 out here is because I normally pair it with the Azula 2 or another fixed blade. I have taken this exact combo out on many trips over the years, and it's really done great. So the one-handed trekker, if you're on the fence, if you're looking at it, if you're thinking about it, I'd say buy it. I mean, it kind of depends on your needs, but you can see the tools here. It says there's 12 functions. You know, stainless steel blade. A lot of people talk a little bit about the blade. I know I've mentioned it in the past, but I mean, these knives have been around for so long. I mean, it's kind of like a buck 110. It's not the newest. It's not the sexiest, maybe, unless you're like me and you just love Victorinox. But these stainless steel blades, they're easy enough to sharpen and they don't dull that quick. I haven't had one break on me unless I was using it for something really, really dumb that I shouldn't have been using any knife blade for. You know, in Swiss, I guess it's inox, I believe, means stainless or stainless steel. And so that's hence the name Victorinox. I mean, that steel is obviously important to them, and they haven't really changed much over the years. So if you're considering it, I'd say pull the trigger and buy it. It's a great knife. These knives right now range from about $50 to $70. I believe you can get this model or something very similar to this on Amazon for about $48 or $50 today, which is I'd say that's a really fair deal. Maybe the German Army model, the green model, maybe some of the other colors might be a little bit more expensive, but $50 to $70, you can get yourself a great knife. So let me know what y'all think. I like the size of the Farmer. This is great for everyday carry. It's definitely great for hiking. It's great for the woods. This is bigger, a little bit more stout. The lock and blade is a nice feature. The one-handed opening is a nice feature. If somebody told me you can only keep one knife, oh man, that would be terrible, right? But if they did, I'd have to say there's a good chance, especially for pocket knives. Now, we're not talking about fixed blade, but for pocket knives, and especially if we're talking about, you know, nothing like tactical, like maybe a Benchmade or something, it would probably be the Farmer or a one-handed trekker for me. Those are my two favorite Victorinox, and I don't think I could go wrong either way. This is just a little smaller, easier to carry. But again, you know, you kind of have to open it with two hands. This one, you can just get it open with one hand. And this one has a locking blade. This one has a bigger saw. I mean, this one, not this specific model, but the black or the camo has the tweezers and the toothpicks. So good news is you don't have to pick just one, but if you're on the fence, I'd say buy it. If you like something bigger, of course, there's the Ranger grip. These one-handed trekkers are 111 millimeters. That's the size. The Ranger grips are 130 millimeters, so even bigger. Me personally, this is the biggest knife I would want to carry for a folding knife or a pocket knife. And even this, I could easily see myself putting one of these in my bag, maybe for camp use or backup use, and maybe this in my pocket. But 130 millimeter Ranger grip would be just a little bit too big for me. So just a quick overview, guys. I've tested these knives. I've tested all Victorinox that I've owned, starting with the old Bantam. This is one of the first ones I had, and it's been a great knife. So let me know in the comments what y'all carry. Thanks for watching. Take care.